What's up, y'all? It's yours truly, Ricovibes. This is Take 5. I got a special guest in the building. And he's supposed to have been here from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Welcome, Super Twitch. Uncle Twitch.
Uncle. But you can't call
Why we can't call you Uncle?
Because we're in the same age group.
True still.
Come on, man.
Brother Twitch.
Even though you did
But don't watch the beard now. Don't watch the gray.
I'm not. I can't help it. It's
there. You're right. It is there. So welcome, man.
Yeah, man. Respect, man.
What's going on, bro?
Why? There, we give thanks to life for being through so much in the past couple of years, you know what I mean? So, give thanks for that, you know what I mean?
See.
Man. Still I do it.
Still I do it.
Yeah, still I do it after 33 years.
I mean, what inspires you to keep doing it, man?
Somebody asked me that the other day, like, with everything that's going on, especially in the music business, like, for me personally, I still get the urge. Not as like when we're younger,
right?
But I still get the urge to entertain people, and every time I think about, I do other stuff, but if I was to say to take myself out of music, then I say to people just to hear what they think, and they're like, "Twitch, you mad? Can't do that." Like, that already. So
right.
I still have the vibes, and I still want to entertain people. That's always been my thing, to entertain people.
Right.
Yeah,
wow. Well, I met you from Afrique days, but was that the first sound you played?
No, sir. I started in 1989.
Okay.
Matter of fact, 88. But it was like December, that's the first time ever playing a sound system was December 88. I can actually remember the dance. I remember standing on the record, not the record box, but on the crates.
Just to
be up on the sound to play.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was December of 1988. So that's 33 years ago, and there was a song called Supersonic. And my brother them always call me Twitch, Liquor Twitch, because them say me liquor like the artist. Twitch,
that's where you got the name from.
Name, yeah. So I got the name off of Liquor Twitch. Big up Liquor Twitch, because every time you see me, you on Twitch, but I need some royalty for me. Man, shut up, man. Anyway, Bridget know. Right. And been playing Supersonic, the owners of the sound thing, decided to say, yo, Supa, work with the Supa twist. It's a Supersonic, and that's how it really came about. Right. And from then on, we move on from Supersonic. I started playing Blackstone. I've always known Weber. And Weber has always been like my big brother, so to speak. So I've always known Weber we all come from East Kingston, and all fought from East Kingston, and Weber was the man. Weber was the man in the East Kingston. A song called Blackstone with Jumbo. And Weber, Daddy School, the artist Daddy School.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was the MC on the song as well. He was a technician too as well. You know what I mean? And when I left Supersonic, because of, it was what let's call it now? It was a situation where the sound had too many owners. You know what I mean? And then it started go away, and it's after a year being there, and thing would say, yo, Blackstone, you know what I mean?
See.
And Blackstone was the big sound in East Kingston. When you talk about Harbourview, you talk about Bull Bay, you talk about Rallington Town, you talk about Dunkirk, you talk about Rockford, you talk about Mountain View.
Whoa.
Blackstone was the sound, brother.
Whoa.
Anyway, Blackstone string up. Yeah, man. So from there, we start whole our vibes, and I tell people all the time, it's like I'm blessed to be in the business and to be a part of, but I've also been lucky to meet people who check for me. So I met Weber took me underneath his wings. You know what I mean? And that's when I start go different places all over Jamaica, to be exact, playing Blackstone, and Daddy School decided to become an artist, and then the other selector who's the MC, him start work different, so I couldn't really go every dance. So me was the liquor youth. No, I can't tell my age, but I was a teenager. Yeah, so
well, we could do the maths.
That's what I'm not gonna tell you. So I was a teenager, basically going to high school same way, and playing big sound, playing alongside Stolo, playing alongside Metro Media, playing alongside Super Saint, playing alongside all the big sounds them at the time. So I was like, and I've always been blessed with this voice.
Gotcha.
I look at you with a big voice, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So and them days, it's not like now where a selector can, you can't, them days you have to have that, want me to use a Jagabee sound, the Rory sound.
The Rory sound.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That sound
Gotcha.
there. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
And I had it. So that was a big plus for me early on in my career. Yeah, man.
So then, was this in Jamaica?
Yeah, man, it's all in Jamaica.
So you migrated to the US.
All right, so this is why this get kind of a little bit twisted. I was born in the US.
Oh, you was born in the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay.
You never know that.
I didn't know that.
All right, so I was born in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
Mount Sinai to be exact.
Okay.
My mom moved back to Jamaica when I was 3 years old.
Got
so
it.
I grew up in Jamaica.
Got it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't. I never knew
Yankee,
that.
man.
You're not even a Brooklyn or New York Yankee, a Connecticut Yankee.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then when I decided to after doing that stint in Jamaica, as far as I did like I played Supersonic, Blackstone, and then after 2 years of Blackstone, we play a song named LA Heat. And in between LA Heat and Blackstone, we play Spinner Strikes one night. I don't know if you know. Remember?
Of course.
Spinner Strikes
Of
on
course. One night.
One night. Cause you were going. I was a little youth, and I was a teenager, mid-teens, and when the boss nicked me, actually Richie Pooh from Silverhawk used to play Spinner Strikes. So when him leave and go play Exodus before him play Silverhawk,
Right.
him link up the boss and say, "Yo, how about liquor selector? Play the song." Like him and the boss is still good, but it was in Clarendon, and for me personally, yo, I've never left my house them time. Like I never left my house, go sleep nowhere else. Like I never know how to, cause it's like having a kid playing soccer in Europe. Like if you don't bring him whole family, he will never get climatized.
Acclimated. You're right. You're right.
You can't just take a kid, say,
Right.
from Argentina and bring him to.
True.
When Messi was moving, they brought his whole
family.
entire family.
You're right.
So when,
You're right.
so you would have to, I would have to go to Clarendon the Thursday and not come back the Friday. Yo, I went the Thursday. The first time I went the Thursday, I played the song the Thursday, the Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday, and the boss dropped me off the Monday. He never see me again. Literally, I hide from him. Every time he come to the house, I say, "Mommy, tell me something there." Because I was like, I couldn't sleep. It was the first time me, like, as a little kid, leaving my house. I couldn't sleep. I was so homesick. I was Clarendon, but to me that was like miles away, brother.
Gotcha.
So and Spinner Strikes was a big sound, brother. 'Cause I remember Spinner Strikes used to run the place before Bodyguard.
Yep.
Right. So I played that for a little bit, and then a brethren of mine linked me with a song called LA Heat, where there's a brethren from LA who he migrated to LA and then they moved back to Jamaica and had a sound, and that start run the whole of East. So that's where, you know, we kind of really build another name, like, but without, you know, like, not saying that Weber was hovering over me or anything like that. But that by this time, Weber had moved on to Metro Media. Being my still brother, but now I'm play a song by myself. So I made so I suck him now, I start, you know, build. And then this was in 1990, 91, and mid-91, I just literally say, you know what, me for just finish up my schooling. And that's why I call my sister. My sister already live in New York. I said, "Sister, you know, so I come to New York, come live." And I go to college and everything. And I left July 1991. And I think I started school, was it September? Went for a month, never go back.
So what were you going to school for?
All right, it's business.
Business.
Right. And the thing about it, what happened was, I got thrown into a situation that school wasn't even a thought. And now I kind of regret it. And I probably could have done both. But when I came up July, by August, I was lucky / blessed to be thrown into a situation with Afrique. Like just by accident. Because my brethren, Blacker than, who used to play King Barker sound, but he used to play Afrique before.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yes.
Wow.
Blacker than used to play Afrique before.
Okay.
So it was Claude, Richie, Jagaby, and Blacker than.
Okay.
Yes, before Twitch.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow.
He was there for probably a year or two.
Right.
And he ended up me and him grew up together at Jamaica. So when I came up, he was like, "Yo, Bridget, I got some dance," and he started, "Can I go dance?" But remember, I have a little experience, so I would play early one with him, on Afrique, everywhere, Rainbow Lounge. Them days, the rainbow never mean nothing more than the colors of the sky. Yeah, let's make that clear.
Right. Yes. Please make that clear.
Make that very clear. That was in the early 90s.
Right.
Anyway, so we would play there, and I remember I would play early one, man, and I remember one night, like, Claude come see me and play, and I mix, and I say, "Who are you tell Black?" I said, "I'm Ricky Benjamin, used to play Blackstone, you know Blackstone," and So happens that night now, he had Rory as special guest. It was a Tuesday night. He had Rory as special guest. So Rory saw me. Rory was like, my youth, and Claude, bad selector. So Rory was the first one to actually point. I said, yo, that youth are bad.
Wow.
And then a couple other people I know from Jamaica, see Jacoby, I say, yo, that little youth, I know him from Rallington Town, him bad, him play. So I saw, you know them thing I go. It's not like nowhere you can go pull up some footage of there's nothing, you know, it's just word of mouth, you know what I mean? But Rory gave me that because he knew me from Jamaica. And
once Rory endorsed you.
Exactly. And him was like super close back then. And so I started, and that night, Claude comes up and give me $50. I said, what? That's
equivalent to about $200 right now,
enough
right?
money. That one I tell you. And said, take my number.
Right.
I said, because Claude had an idea which was bigger than every sound owner, but he just never did it the right way. The whole thing about double dating and sound playing here and then years, Claude started that. Super Claude started that. Claude, the first man, said, yo, listen, go down one studio and duplicate and triple
the dubs.
them. So everybody had that. So he started that. No, back in them days, people never understand that. They thought if Africa play Brooklyn, then the sound, everybody
is in Brooklyn.
So then no people say here, Africa, Brooklyn. I said, no man, they're Queens. No man, they can't, but they're Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And Claude was the first one to do that. People never understand. We got in a lot of trouble for that. Because then people would say, so I'm gonna say Claude. And now, me as a young youth now, on the sound, boy, I'm a gut treat, brother. Gut treat. It's not like no, where you can say, all right, go on social media, just add it to Stone Love, Ricky, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then you can say new selector.
Right.
Okay, so you go somewhere and say, oh, at least we see him on a fire art. No. This is me walking to a dance, and Claude say, yeah man, me I reach 2 o'clock at the dance. You just go there from early and start it. And I go there, start early one, my rear, and 3 o'clock come, no Claude. 4 o'clock, not Jacoby. Because them gone somewhere else. And promoter look on your sideway. The first time I do a tour of Canada, and me, I'll be on Claude for God, me end up alone go. When we reach a promoter, want to kill me. Wow. Because he don't know who is this big nose youth here. That big nose man got youth about him name Twitch. But I know you, brother.
Right. So Claude never told him?
Claude never next gig. Me alone end up, that was 1992. So this is New Year's Eve, 1991, going into 92.
Right.
So I'm playing the song for probably 3-4 months now.
Oh, okay.
And Claude say, yo, me I go Canada that time. Africa, the biggest sound of Canada. Wow. Biggest sound. So let me pull up. When I start playing Africa now, after that Tuesday night, then Claude say, forward man, every night now, I start go, make like $50 or $100 now. 7 nights a week, brother.
Yeah, I remember. For years.
For
a
good 10 years.
For years.
We did that
every
single night of the week.
Yep.
I said to Macho on the other day, Macho, you know, so we made enough money when we were youth. Because then he came, because people don't understand, me bus a New York before Mataran.
Yep.
A real Mataran bus around me, but that's another story. Right. And this is not something where I'm talking down.
No, absolutely not.
This is something we talk about. Even last night, me and him had this conversation. We talk about it all the time. So it's a straight of both of us, you know, whatever. But I was out there 7 nights a week. So that's how the school thing got eliminated, brother. Because then I was making money like wow, like in space of no time. I was blessed, but I was also lucky with a little bit of talent in there. Because I was still young. I was just playing so like for 3-4 years now. So I wasn't like no, you know what I mean? And went to Canada and one of them gigs was supposed to be me and Claude. Got there, no Claude. Me alone, the promoter want to kill me. You know what saved me? Him come from East Kingston, the promoter come, his name Sawyer, rest in peace. Him forward from East Kingston too. So he must have started to take my run from Ray. And in Bridging, I said, no, sorry, I done the youth fault, Bridging. In Bridging, he might go wild, you know. And Bridging did that. I said, never forget that, I can't remember his name. I said, no, but another kid fault. And Claude will link. So if Claude said, make the youth forward, I honestly never know, so Claude now, right. I call Claude, them time you have to go pay for them, I call the man, no answer. I said, shut. And the Bridges start asking me, where you come from in Jamaica? I start telling him. I say, you know, East Kingston. See him tell the brother stop talk. I say, East. And I say, which part? With him angry self. Which part you used to come from? I say, Pembroke Road off Winner Road. Him say, you know, Mikey. I say, Mikey grow me and pick. And the man say, start my brother there. you know, my Dan them will grow me.
Right.
Mike is the one who name me Liquor Twitch. So if end up know that man, I suck on the man. The wickedest ever play Africa to that date. Wickedest mash up the dance, brother. Man love me. Right now, every after that, every time I keep a dance, make sure Twitch forward, you know. So some start make my name. That's how I make my name.
Right.
By being thrown into the lines then and fighting out.
Wow.
That's how I made my name as a kid.
Wow.
It was different. I went through it. I would go to dances and people, promoter run my way. Security don't want to let me in. Who you, brother? But you play Africa.
It was that bad?
It was that bad.
Wow.
That bad.
Wow.
And I had to prove myself every night until what helped, Video King Al, those videos, back in the early days, them helped because then no, there's dancing my Starlight Ballroom, all them big people dance there. I'll be on it and one thing, Jagaby and Claude, they never shunned from giving me the props.
Right.
Yo, Super Twitch, pull up at you, yo, Super Twitch,
Right.
and them giving up because that's how I bust.
Right.
Because them time I wasn't even MCing as much.
It was
You know?
selected.
Yeah, just mixing and thing and yeah man, so we get the start, brother. True luck, true blessing, and whole heap of fight, brother.
Jeez.
Like I've never even really tell anybody in an interview
Right.
that
Right.
I went through hell, bro.
So how did you survive though?
Brother, the urge. I mean, I was at the end of the day, we were the biggest sound in America.
Yeah.
And
They always call you guys the stone of America.
I mean, at the end of the day, brother, I was thrown into a situation where there was no. I had to go forward.
Right.
I had to go with it.
Right.
And to be honest with you, from playing not mediocre songs but just a normal level song, Black Stone was the biggest song to that point. Black Stone was really a big song in the era. If we don't say internationally, Africa was a big song. And I at 19, 20 years old, I'm like one of the top shooter them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then it became a thing where I just kept continuing, and then it just grew and it grew. And no turning back, bro. And
Wow.
I did 10 years around Africa, which was 10 years of ups and downs, but Africa is what
Built you.
built me. Yeah. I tell people all the time, Africa is still my son, brother.
Gotcha.
Till this
wow. Talk about how you guys came to be the Dream Team. I mean, at what point did that happen? Were you still playing Africa then?
Yeah, man. Because Dream Team was just like a, how you put it now? That's another acronym, so to speak, where we would say, all right, Mataran would leave Addis dance.
Right.
Because the kids dance would done like 4 o'clock, but our dance I got till
6, 7, 8,
6,
9.
7, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
The sunlight.
Yeah.
So Mataran will link. So Mataran start link with me, you know. Because me and Mataran are friend from Jamaica as well, from inner city days.
Okay.
Right. So he will link up, and then me and him, the morning ride, it would be Twitch and Mataran. Dynamic duo, we used to call it. And then, boom, Steely came around. Boom,
Right.
Slick came around.
Yeah.
But Slick actually came around before even Steely.
Right.
Because Steely was around Spectrum.
Right.
And then
Slick was around Super Dupe.
Super Dupe,
Yeah.
and then you know whatever. So he would come around. So we started forming a team, and then we had this super team. There was like 8 selectors in Africa at one point. At any beginning, Africa was played. Any given weekend, we played at 4 or 5 different places in the world.
Yeah.
We had even Val from
Valderrama.
Valderrama from African Star was on the sound.
Yeah.
You know, at one point Gary Chucks was on the sound. You name it, Steely, Slick, and Nari was a little bit way. I would say later on.
Yeah.
But then the Dream Team, and then we had a Dream Team, and then we have the Bashman Squad.
The Bashman Squad,
which was like at this point now, it's just we like it will be like just the youths them. You know, Claude them are busy with the Jack and the busy with you. Just we as the youths them matter and take on the street every night.
Right.
So we'd play every one of the
I remember there used to be was it a Monday night?
A Monday or Tuesday night, a good old,
you
have Illusions on a Monday.
Yeah.
Like it would be we.
Q Club
on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like it would be me, Mataran, like you name it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
We did it, man.
Wow.
We did it.
Why did you leave Africa though?
Just, you know, and I love Super Claude to death, no homo. And I have the same love for Jagabis. But Claude was just, as I said, he had the right concept, but he just never go about it the right way. And he was doing some things that was kind of a little bit shady in the street. And then I remember one night I was playing a dance in Miami, and I was talking to a friend, And when I done talk to him, somebody pull him over and say, yo, I twitch that from Africa. And the brother say, yeah, man. I say, John Oster, you know, say, I say the one Claude called Ray, this and that. And I said, jeez. Man, I said, John, no, like the dog, I said, yo, anybody from Africa, I'm saying, but I want to do this. And like you tell him, say, no, you can't do Twitch that. Twitch I'm busy with Claude business.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it kind of, a little, you know, thing go off in my head, and I say, I gotta go through this, you know. I gotta really go through being, I watch my head back for stuff that I don't know about, you know what I mean? And that's where it kind of, you know, in 2001, that's where I decided, like, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing. And then still, I really did leave Africa, do my own thing. And that was just the era of solo selectors. And you know, and then I had built a great fan base in Miami. And I was like, you know what, I wanted to move to Miami. So that transition happened exactly the same time. Like, leave Africa, move to Miami. And that's where I was making money back then. And yeah, that's why it happened still.
So how was the transition though? Was there animosity? Was there, you got
at first Claude kind of upset. He felt that, you know, he was going through what he was going through, and he thought that we should have stuck by him.
Right.
But I mean, everyone for himself when it comes to your life.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not only your livelihood, no homo, but your life itself. So when you take a risk and go do something, and then it's a fall upon people around you, that's a different ball game, brother. You know what I mean? And I just felt it was time to move on. Did I want to? No, because that, to me, it's like when I mentioned, you know, leaving my house the first time for go place. That's me leaving Africa was dramatic for me. But it's something that I had to do. And it was tough at first, but then we get back the good vibes between me and Jaga be always good. But me and Claude never talk for probably a year or two, and then we kind of get back our good vibes, and you know what I mean. And it's been a transition because them early days there, you know, Claude was the man, so to speak, when it comes to New York.
Yeah.
Claude.
Yeah. He was the go-to person.
Right. So if Claude say you don't play for a dance, you don't play for a dance. Yeah. And that was probably that's another reason why I left too. Because I know I wouldn't survive.
Gotcha. In New York.
In New York. And to this day, my older kids them cost me. My son like, Dad, why you leave them? I explain to them like, son, like my daughter, I had to move for us to survive. Right. I had to make that transition.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it like playing sound in Miami, coming from New York and coming from such a big sound, being on your own?
Being on my own? Yeah. All right. So I had already kind of started to set up myself a certain way in Miami. First and foremost, I love Miami. So from the first time I went to Miami was in 1992 as well. I loved it because I get to play soccer every day, and I was coming from Jamaica where I could have played, and I could have wear a T-shirt all the time. And I realized that this is probably somewhere I'd probably want to move to. So in the early stages, it would be me. Every time Africa play Miami, it would be me. It would be me. So I kind of formed a lot of alliances down there. A lot of promoters knew me as well, and then I just had a great fan base there.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And then now, you know, New York, once you say you're coming from New York in there, Florida, I mean, there's a lot of people who migrated from New York or used to live in New York. So it was like a home away from home, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So my brand, my style was really a good fit at them days there, to be honest with you. So it was fairly easy. And then Machon had made the step even before, because Machon fell in love with Florida. Yeah. So Machon, all right. So Machon had an apartment in Florida before me, and we both had an apartment. Because me and Machon live like bread. A lot of people don't even understand.
And was it Long Island, I think?
Rosedale.
Rosedale.
Yeah, so we had an apartment for 8 years.
Right.
The Bashment house.
The Bashment house.
All our kids them grew up in this house.
Really?
Yeah, all our kids them. You know what I mean? So when Machon, so we actually had an apartment in New York, and Machon had an apartment in Florida. And so he would go back and forth, and then me start go back, and then, you know, I said, Jano, eventually we had to give up something. Yeah. And then we just give up New York, and we just, you know, we decided to move to Florida. Wow. And then in them time, you know, Mataran ended up had to go back to Jamaica for a little bit. Yeah, man. You know, remember that early days. And it's so funny. When them time when Mataran decide, not decide, but he end up had to go back to Jamaica because of the whole visa situation. That's when Mataran end up become the biggest artist at the time with Dirty Wine and all the song them.
Good as and all.
So when we thought it was like, oh my God, Bridget now have no visa and can't come back to America, but it was one of the biggest things for him, you know. So you know, blessings come in different ways, different forms. Yeah,
true.
Yeah, man.
Talk about your relationship, no homo, with Spragga Benz.
My brother, that man, my brother in a real life, like we've been friends probably as long as me I play music. We've always been, it's always been Carlos, you know, Ricky, you know what I mean, till it becomes Spragga Benz and Twitch, you know what I mean? And I met Spragga through Weber, because them time, as I said, Weber was the man in Eastern Kingston.
Right.
Spragga wasn't trying to be an artist or anything like that, but he loved music. So everywhere Black Swan was, he was always there. I always want a cassette. He's a man love cassettes. So I saw me and him start link, we start exchange cassettes. He would have come here, yo, Ricky!
Right.
Yeah, you know them days and he would pass through the cassette until we would start link. And then when I went back to Jamaica in 1992, I went to Arrows to voice Bujo and Caperton for Africa. And when we look, we say, Spragga sit down in the corner and Arrows, I'm like, Carlos, where are you? I was like, no, my artist was Spragga Roots. I said my name first.
Spragga Roots.
Yeah.
Wow.
Spragga Roots. I'm gonna say, yeah, DJ. I'm gonna say, yeah, man. Like, whatever. I didn't, like, trust me, I did not believe in him.
Are you serious?
Nah, of course not.
Does he know this?
Of course.
Okay.
We talk about it. But never believe in him. Because remember, you know, them days when Bujo Boss was that rough voice.
Yeah.
And Spragga voice was different.
Yeah.
And he wasn't off key, but he was in a different key.
Gotcha.
When he was DJ. All them tune them, it sound like it was in a different key.
Gotcha.
And when I remember, it's crazy. I saw Cutty Ranks last night, and I remember Cutty Ranks did have a tune at the time. Come on now, sound boy, come sweep up me yard. Remember that dub plate everybody would have seen? So I voiced Caperton, Bujo, and I left 2 spaces on the dub plate. Because them days we used to go straight to dub plates, right?
Wow.
We left 2 spaces to Cutty do the song, and Cutty was on his way there. I'm gonna leave the money with Litter and say, yo, wait. You know, the evening Spragga ride a bike, come check me. Yo, see the dub plate there? Right up on everything, you know. So I said, Spragga rules. Jack it up. And they tell them the dub style for the.
Right.
So I said, you want to cut the ranks? He must say, boy, you have to go do it the next day and come and just use the space. So he
just put it up on himself.
And just do the dub.
Wow.
So Claude, I said, yo, where you find a friend from? I said, John, don't worry about it. I'll pay for the next one. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I had this dub. I'll never forget. I had this dub on the turbo punana rhythm. Cock it up, jack it up. Probably 2 months. Because I remember that was 1992, probably October I went to Jamaica. And Spragga bus somewhere in between there, so between 92 and 93. And I remember January, African crew. You remember them African crew from New York? Linda and Darius, all of them. They came back from Jamaica. And they were like, yo, you have to jack it up. We are the biggest song in Jamaica.
So you never played the song?
Never played the song. Had the song for like 2 months.
Right. On dub plate, not even 45.
That time is way after. I remember said them days just tune a bus one dub plate, you know.
First,
before it got on 45, you know.
You're right.
Most of the big song them bus one dub plates. You understand?
Yep.
So let's talk about that. I'm a next story. But then I have a song and them said they'll never play it. And them said, can you please play it? I was alright. I'm coming up and play it. That time I have the whole jug, you know, I have all position and the whole of them tune up on the rhythm to you know, African dub them, you know. And draw the girl them go up on the head tap and one bag of thing dance mash up. And them really, when we play the song, I guess I mean first play it. Because them time nobody else never did play it either, you know. Don't get me wrong, you know. So even though I waited 2 months,
it's still got you.
Because remember, back in them days, it's not like say we didn't have social media.
Right.
So
no YouTube or none of them things.
So we were the radio station. We were the ones who had to bring it to the people. So if we never bring it, nobody else. It was either we or say Babyface or you know Addis or we. And them days it was really Africa, to be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? Bro, from this on, I said, no man. Hey, you tell. So I'm going back to Jamaica, I said, brother, voice back the tune. I end up voice it over because I want him to do it on a
different rhythm.
Yes.
Okay.
So but do it over. And then him do could a deal on the top 10, him do could a deal, him do about 4 songs. Him do and then him have a next song, them Red Alert when the girls see it. And do about 4 songs and brother from this on. Hand in the year or two. Because by this time now the man around the whole Jamaica, brother. Just like that. Wow. And then he had a look. Let's be honest. He had a look that none of the regular DJ them never really have. This uptown look.
Yeah, clean cut.
Clean cut and red. Every girl love the man, brother.
Yeah.
Yo, by the time I went back to Jamaica a few months, the man around the whole place, brother. Wow. Yeah, man. Wow. And I told him a story. Like he like in interviews, him talk about it. Him say, yeah, man, just never believe in me.